Welcome to the Crypto Navigators. I am your host, Alan. We got Wayside joining us. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I got a little bit of background music. Should have had Bags and Tails music playing. That'll be in the next stream. Got a little background music to test it out. Still cannot hear it. If it's a little loud, put it in the chat. Good to see everybody showed up a little early today. I appreciate it. We got a good host of people coming on tonight. I'm going to probably go for about an hour and a half. Cut a little short tonight. Got lots to talk about. Anybody want to put a little knowledge in the chat? I would appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming out. SoFlo Digital, Wen Mullet, always the first one to show up lately. Marvin Davis, legendary Dave's here. What's up, Dave? Good to see everybody showing up. Ed Franklowski, good to see you in the chat, bro. Well, I got quite a few things I want to go over. I want to ask you guys, where do you think the market's going? Are we going up? Are we going down? Are we going sideways? Wayside, I'd love to hear what your sentiment is. Where do you think we're going, Wayside?
Right now, who knows? Hard to tell. It's all this ETF talks and stuff like that. I think it's a big distraction. I think that something's about to happen that's gonna change our future. That's for sure. But as far as where the market is going, not really paying attention to the market. Honestly.
Nothing wrong with that, man. You know, for those that are holding and are hodlers, like pretty much myself, I've been in kind of that sentiment for a long time now. You know, I think really the first year in crypto, you get past the emotional stage and you get more realistic in understanding that this is a patience game. You know, for those that have been here for a while and have been through a bear market, which most of us in the space have, it's the skills that we developed in this bear market, I think, that makes us not only better, but more relaxed and more really just knowledgeable about how the market really works and, you know, sentiment. And now that's what I want to talk about tonight. I caught myself even sliding a little bit and getting into the narrative sentiment of, you know, just having your coin suppressed for years and years, not quite getting the gains that you were hoping for, etc. All the emotions that we go through in these times, you know. So it got me to more focus on the future and, you know, where it's going to go, where I'm going. And in 2024, I really wanted to focus on how much I could grow as a person and grow as sharing my abilities and my knowledge and really collaborating with a lot of people that are like-minded as I am, and getting them in one place is why I decided to do this. And I think this is going to grow into something amazing in the future because everybody's got something to share in here. I really appreciate when people drop a lot of knowledge in the chat and share what's going out throughout the day. I personally don't have time throughout most of the day to read all the news and everything else that happens throughout the day. So it's nice to hear people that are in the Twitter spaces and everybody else that's a part of this ecosystem. You know, it's real important to be plugged in and plugged into the right community. And I feel like it's a family, you know, what we've really established as far as a group of Blue Crew. So it's really cool where we've gone. And really, if we weren't all together hanging out, I don't think half of us would have made it through this bear market. So appreciate you sharing that, Wayside. And what's some of your thoughts?
Support. Yeah, Alan. It's all about the moral support. We just gotta hang in there all together. We'll make it through. We'll find the way. That's my only attitude. That's the only way I'm gonna look at things. But yeah, thanks for having me on the platform. Mahalo for it, and aloha to everybody out there. All right.
I appreciate Waysome. Adam, are you there, buddy? Connection good? Can't hear you, buddy. Are you speaking? Adam. Well, he might be having some issues. Sean T should be showing up here pretty soon. Got some latecomers coming in. I appreciate Sophie showing up. Sophie, how you doing tonight? We the bank, and always forget the one guys with the 11 something. I'll see you in the chat. 1137B. What's up, buddy? Good to see you back in the chat again. Gonna have a few more people showing up a little late tonight. No big deal. That's what we do. We're part of a family. Some show up early, some show up late. Good to see everybody showing up. What's up, Manly? What's up, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. So we got lots to talk about tonight. You know, where's this market going? What do we see? I saw some really good news today about Hedera and XRP having a collaboration. I want to talk about that. Hopefully we can get Adam to get a come on and talk a little bit about that, where he thinks the market is going as well. I'm seeing quite a few things in the marketplace that are really a good collaboration with other networks, and I really see that that's what 2024 is going to be about. I think we're going to have a very nice, good, decent pop. More consolidation. That's what the banks are going to want. They're going to want that consolidation to take advantage of that market dipping and taking profits. We're seeing taking profit situations of buying, buying the rumor, selling the news currently right now. I believe we're going to see more of that after a nice little run. I'm really excited about where it's going to go. Adam, are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Gotcha,
there
buddy.
you go. Nice. What's going on, gents?
We're talking about where everybody thinks the market's going right now. We going up, we going down, we going sideways. What's your sentiment?
I think we're gonna have a little bit of sideways action for now. You and I were talking a little bit earlier, and I think I was telling you what I'm following, and I think I follow more of the logic protocols. So, everything, and you already are hearing those hints from the people that are high up in the space. All right, Brad Garlinghouse is hinting towards it. Larry Fink's hinting towards it. What the heck's his name? Weenie Head from the SEC is hinting towards it. But regulations are on their way to coming, and that's why I tell people, look at the Mika timeline. June 30th, December 30th, we have Mika coming. Then you have the SEC case ending in April. So, I think we're going to get pumps. I think it's going to be a lot of retail that's going to come into the space. I don't know if the ETF is going to pass right away for us and, give us, what people are looking for maybe, $10, $20, $30, $50 XRP. But for me, I'm really looking for the long-term hold. I'm looking for the real horizon event that we all want, which is, $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 XRP. And that's not going to come until regulation's been structured and, institutional capital's coming in. And they're not going to come in until that regulation's been formulated.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 2024 is, like I said, is the year of great consolidation. And I believe that this nice little pump is going to be from some type of regulations. I mean, we've been hearing this stable coin narrative for the last year. And now that actually Brad's even talking about it, it's significant. I really got excited when I heard him actually mention something about it. The man really doesn't mention much, and when he does, it's serious, and he does hold back a lot. You hear the news reports when he gets on and talks about what he thinks is going on with the market, where it's going, and what XRP is doing, and you don't really hear him hint about anything. But when he said that really got my attention. So that tells me more than likely this is the pump that we're going to get, but it's not full regulations like we need, like the Amicas have. And I really think it could be like you and I were talking, like more like a 2025 complete utility aspect of it, of where we're getting that utility money. And it makes sense. We got to have a big consolidation period where those that are laggards can get in at a very cheap price. It probably isn't going to be obviously anywhere near the prices we're at right now. This is the cheapest prices it's ever going to be, in my opinion. I don't ever think it's going to get back down to under $1, but I mean, that's just my personal belief and system. But, you know, when we actually get any kind of regulations, it's no stopping it, in my opinion. I mean, that's the catalyst. I mean, technically right now, we should, if the CFTC and the SEC both are on the sentiment that this is not a security, I don't understand why we don't have anything in United States code right now. That's what we really should have. Congress should be actually pushing to have that implemented into the code, and I think that's kind of where we're at right now at this timeline. I think they're back against a corner. They even said in the last discussion, Gary Gensler said, yeah, we had to take another look at it. The court system was involved, and we had to take another look at it. We had to essentially approve these ETFs because, you know, their hand was forced at that point in time. Since the Senate doesn't want to step in and actually make the rules, now they actually have to do something about it. So it's very interesting how this is playing out. Now you were talking about
it's all cause and effect, Alan. So, you know, everything has a timeline and everything gets executed at the appropriate time frame. They're not going to do things with regulation, and they're not going to do things with the financial market until the financial market's ready to have the final blow where the liquidity crisis comes into play. And we have to remember that, you know, every asset has its purpose. XRP is a liquidity token. So with that being said, where's the liquidity crisis? It's here, but the final approach of what is necessary for it to be a catastrophic event is not. So everything's kind of like half-baked right now. And once these regulations are put in place, they then are going to speed up everything else. We'll see some sort of black swan event. We'll see some sort of false flag, maybe World War III narrative. All these perfect things are going to come out in a domino effect. And then that's when you'll see everything implemented, because remember, this is an institutional asset. This is a utility-driven asset. You know, for all the banks to come online and to utilize this the way it was intended on using it, all these things have to be formulated, and this whole play has to be, and narrative has to be basically done perfectly. There's no revisiting this. This isn't like, hey, we're going to get a second attempt. You know, they already had a pre-attempt, which is 2008, and it woke up a lot of people. They can't do this again. So they have to get this done right. You know, they're pregnant, and there's no coming back. So, you know, execution is key.
Well, let's talk about that Elon Musk license agreement that he got signed. What's your sentiment on that? I mean, me personally, I know that ties all the way back with Jeb with, you know, X.com when it first was formatted back in PayPal days. So, I mean, there's been a long acquiring period of time. Obviously, Elon has never forgot about that. I mean, those payments were made with cryptocurrency. I mean, it's amazing that we have seen him sit on the sideline for so freaking long. And now all of a sudden, after acquiring X, he's now, obviously this has been a long plan in the making, but I mean, where do you see that going? What's your thoughts on that, Adam? And what's up, Sean?
I
Good to
think
see
What's going on?
is very stellar. What's up, DJ Jazzy?
What up, Wayside? Go ahead, Wayside.
Yeah, I think it's very it's stellar.
Yeah,
Very
that's right.
stellar. That's all I got to say.
Me too, buddy. I just want to hear
So
somebody
I
else.
mean, it's basically, you know, when we talked about this, it's WeChat 2.0. You know, they're bringing that whole control narrative of carbon credits. You know, UBI here in the United States. We knew that that was the plan from the beginning. You know, where X is essentially going to become a bank that's going to control people's social credit scores. It's going to control, you know, what you can and can't do, what you're socially posting, you know, and it's this is here. It's here. So, you know, that's the reason why his money transmitter license was passed. He's going to be front running Fed now, and he's going to be front running UBI.
Well, Stellar's going to be front running Fed now. I mean, they have that on lock. But you're saying that potentially Elon is going to front run the Fed now on the platform? Is that kind of what your thought is?
Well, it's going to be UBI is a version of Fed now to me. You know what I mean? It's what they're going to control you with your social stimulus, right? So if Fed now is just the first creation of that, but the social construct of how that's going to be implemented and how they're going to be able to control people. Fed now doesn't have a social platform, right? But X
Right.
does. And X is also connected to the metaverse. It's also connected to Facebook. So that whole construct is going to be controlled by Elon Musk's platform. And that's how they're going to be able to, you know, say, hey, listen, you know, Sean, you didn't post something properly. You got 4 days to take that off. If you don't take that off in 4 days, we're going to impose tax on you. And then after the other 4 days, you know, if that's not removed, then we're going to fine you again. And then if you still don't do it, then we're just going to cut you off. So that's how they're going to get the control of the population.
You know, it's funny that you're saying it like that because I work with a lot of older people. Everybody's pretty much over 50 that I work with, except for one person. And it's like you can't tell them anything about crypto. Their mind just not even comprehend, nor do they want to comprehend. So it's funny because, you know, there's going to be so many people that are left behind, and I try to educate anybody that I got the 3-foot rule. You know, anybody comes and contact me about 3 feet, and I feel led to instruct or teach, I do it. That's kind of been how I've been since I was young. But it's so simple how it's probably going to be. You know, the system is set up now where you can do a Zelle transaction with your telephone number and your email. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that difficult. They're literally probably going to get a message on their phone that says, click this if you want to open up your bank account. Your bank account is locked. And they're going to do it, you know. I think it's just going to be that simple. And those that can't figure it out are going to have to go down their local branch and get them to walk through their cell phone setup.
Alan, people do whatever they have to when they're forced into a corner.
That's what
and
I mean.
If you're insolvent and you're financially, you know, don't have any money to your name because your bank account's been cleared, and you're wondering how you're going to get your next paycheck to feed your family or pay for your nursing home or, you know, your mortgage, you're going to do whatever the new hip thing is because you need that money to pay for your bills and your debt. And everyone always acts like they're the big bad wolf and they're not going to conform and they're going to storm the Capitol and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. But look what happened when Trump had his whole standoff, or, you know, whatever the case they were saying, on January 6th. And all those people that are still sitting in prison and no one's out there trying to get them or bail them out, right? So everyone's all talk, because when it comes down to it and they tell you shit or get off the pot, you're either going to listen to us so you have money or you're not. People are going to conform.
They have all over the world, unfortunately, you know. But that's kind of the double-edged sword of what we are into as far as investments and the future of where technology is going. It's technology can be used for good or evil. And then I believe we're in a place where we're positioned accordingly, where we don't have to be a part of the complete control system, which is wonderful. I just count myself as extremely blessed individual to be positioned so far ahead of what everybody else is going to have to be dealing with. And I kind of make it like a little bit of incentive to inspire others around me to try to seek the knowledge to obtain what's about ready to happen. And I've actually got some victories lately, guys. I'll be quite honest with you, man. My mom would have been the last person I ever thought would have got into buying blockchain or crypto or anything, and she did. And my uncle, second last person I didn't think was going to do it, literally just did it recently. So after much convincing in the world the way it is, I think people are starting to wake up a little bit. But God, man, so many that just will not. And it's interesting though, because all these ETFs, all this advertisement it's about ready to come out is, they're going after this boomer money. The boomer money is where the money is. And I've been in contact with an old boss of mine. He's a boomer, and he's already told me he's heard about it already. So it's kind of getting back to where it was in 2021 to me. Like we started hearing a little bit of chatter with advertisement and everything else. And we had that nice little run up, and then so much advertisement, and then done. So this could be another summer sell your crypto in by summer kind of event, and then it dumps and then goes back down. So it could be pretty similar to 2021. I'm really curious how Sipe's going to talk about some of that stuff here. I'm really interested in where that's going to go. I'm not the chart guy, so trying to get 2024 is my level up year. Want to learn more about charting, want to learn more about what the market does and where it's going, and how to follow the sentiments and use it to my advantage. We probably are going to have another bear market, so that's my thought process at this moment. What's up, Sean? You got something you wanted to talk about tonight?
Yeah. So this all happened within about the last 20 minutes. When you went live, I was one of my kids came home. I was talking to them, but I was also watching a YouTube video, and I found something very, very interesting as we talk about the markets. Is that we know that the Bitcoin ETF was filed. Uh, 11 companies got the spot ETF, one of which is not JP Morgan. But on CNBC today, earlier, Jamie Dimon was saying, hey, I think Bitcoin is a pet rock, but I think that there's other cryptos that have actual utility.
I heard
But
that.
then he went into something very different, which I didn't know until about 15 minutes ago. He talked about the previous administration and saying, hey, can we just stop talking for a minute? Because that group of people kind of got things right on certain things like the topics we can't discuss that are on YouTube because it'll get censored, but all the topics we've always talked about. But they got a lot of things right, and we need to do something, stop talking, respect each other, because it wasn't that bad a few years ago. I think that's going to affect the markets just because of who said it, which is a head turner for me and a red pill moment for that guy that said it on CNBC because he has never spoken like that in the last 10 years.
Nice. Yeah. There's been so much news coming out. My God, my head is spinning. I mean, it's so many things at one time. Like this year
Yeah.
has been just,
Sean, but like you have to remember too, the Riddlers talked about this, that Trump is going to be looked at as the bad guy, and then what's going to happen is the pendulum's going to swing from being fully Democratic back all the way to the right because they want polarism, and then Trump's going to come
Yes.
in and he's going to save the day with XRP and the digital assets. So for me, none of this is a surprise. I mean, this is just part of the whole narrative that was bound to play out. So it's just good to have another confirmation that we're all invested in the
No.
right asset.
No, I recognize that, but I thought it was worth noting that it was said. No, I agree with you 1000%. The pendulum always keeps swinging back and forth. And when I first heard it, my thoughts were that sounds dubious at best. Is he talking his book? What's really going on? I took it completely not at face value, but that there was some underlying reason to say it. But after thinking about it, I was like, okay, I know he has an angle, But the fact that he said it out loud, that's the interesting part. He didn't have to say that.
You're
I
right.
agree. Yeah. He's being very vocal lately, and that's also what makes me super bullish right now because, I mean, we know this money's been sitting on the sideline for a while. You can't have a bear market for, years and not have money sitting on the sideline. I mean, what the hell have they been putting the money into? Other assets, What's safe right now? There isn't anything really safe right now. I mean, crypto we know is going to be the safe haven for the long term, but we've been waiting on a lot of things. We've been waiting on these regulations. The next thing that we could potentially have on top of this other ETF is, Ripple maybe even settling. It could be like the 24th, I think. In the F. What'd you say? The F. You said 2 dates, Adam, that you talked about. Would you mind mentioning?
Micah has the June 30th and then December 30th. So they're exactly 6 months apart. And that is dealing with the whole financial regulation of stable coins. So once that's implemented, that's when you're going to see the utility assets being driven. And that's why I say 2025 will be our year. This will be the year to continue to accumulate, except that the prices that you're going to be accumulating at are going to be much higher than what you've been accumulating from prior. So we might hit like $5, $6, $10 or whatever like that, maybe even 25, but it's all mostly going to be retail money. And then, the whole process will switch where our utility assets going to be utilized to take care of the liquidity crisis that is being pumped and primed right now. So
if we get another $1 trillion in the market of XRP, that's going to be like a $33 XRP. I think that's very obtainable. I think we're going to get about $18 trillion coming in this marketplace. That's my number. I don't know why I keep getting that number keep popping up over and over and over again in my mind, but there's 44 trillion talked about coming in this marketplace. I think $18 trillion divided up over so many coins. I think I'm being very marginal when I say $1 trillion in the XRP market cap. I mean, that's super simple to do. I mean, if we got Franklin Templeton, I think it was, I can't remember which one of the asset managers is not going to allow XR or BTC to be a part of their portfolio. I can see them easily switching straight on to XRP and utilizing that.
Franklin Templeton already has a contract with XRP. They're already a partner with them.
There you go. I mean, why would you pay crazy fees for BTC, pay the BTC fees with little to no gain, in my opinion, as far as what you could have on a utility-based crypto gain-wise? I mean, they're all numbers and cents. Why in the heck would they do BTC? Just makes no sense. There's a short-term gain at the same time. I think the long-term is obviously going to be XRP, and I think that's where they're going to go. But
if you could see the sentiment, or you could see like who the players are, everyone that's in the banking sector that has a financial issue are all the ones pushing BTC. JP Morgan, we know, is bleeding out. BlackRock is bleeding out in some of their investments, right? Because they're over leveraged. Right. So they're all pushing the BTC narrative. Why? Because they need to do a pump and dump to secure their financial security. So this is all just to wash, rinse, and repeat. So they're going to take out all the baby boomers that are going to invest into this ETF, use them to get themselves whole again, and then they're going to switch over to XRP. I mean, it's so black and white, plain as day. I mean, whoever doesn't see this, I don't get how people aren't observing this and comprehending this fully.
Hey Adam, I got a question. Why do you say that BlackRock is over leveraged? Where are they over leveraged at?
They've been buying up all the real estate in the United States for like the last decade. I mean, most of commercial, suburban. I mean,
okay, no. I just wanted you to corroborate what I've been thinking for a very long time. And I was telling Alan, I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, that the house next door to me that's been a rental since like 2015, 2014, is owned by a company that's owned by another company that's owned by Blackstone. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's right, literally next door to me, in the middle of suburban, Georgia.
Then
And
you have to
so,
realize, like, Sean, we talk about fractional reserve lending. So 10 to
yeah,
1.
yeah, yeah.
So if you start using your debt, you pre-fund an LLC or a company or an entity.
Mhm.
Now that company could then do fractional reserve lending.
Correct.
Then that company opens up an LLC. Now that company could do fractional reserve lending. So where you
Correct.
did 10 to 1 for the one LLC, let's say you have 6 LLCs open, you're actually doing 60 to 1.
Yes.
So that's what these companies are doing. And it's just a
Now,
big balloon loan, right?
now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Why wouldn't a company like BlackRock and their subsidiaries just divest instead of just
Because,
counting on a Bitcoin ETF?
well, trust me, they're divesting in commodities, they're divesting in other funds for the time being that are going to help them to a certain extent. But all these companies, all these banks are shot. You know what I mean? They're
No, no,
holding.
no. But I'm talking about specifically in terms of residential real estate.
How can they?
Sell at a discount. I mean, they caused the real estate crisis in the first place.
Yeah, but if they sell at a discount, they're still losing, right? Because they bought high.
Yeah. So cut your losses and move on.
I'm gonna chime in here for
But
a moment.
BlackRock. But that's not their play, Sean. Their play is to control the whole market for real estate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if
Okay,
they
and that's what I was asking.
yeah,
What
they're not
does
going to do that.
Wouldn't
Okay.
it be a wash really? Because think about how much money they gained in Wall Street. I mean, look at the gains this really 10 years. It's a wash. Gains can be washed if you got $10 trillion that you gain in the stock market and you have all these homes that you're sitting on that you're losing $5 trillion. Why couldn't you just wash off the debt? Your gains, you're paying taxes on your gains. So why wouldn't that be the play? Can you? What do you think about that?
They're not doing that institutionally. They're writing that off. They don't care about that. I mean, that goes against their overall gross profit, right? So
But you
they
pay
don't
tax on
care.
profit.
Yeah, but they have write-offs, right? They have balance books and sheets, and there's ways for them to leverage everything so that they're not paying any taxes. That's they play
Nonprofits.
nonprofits, shell corporations, offshore corporations, all these different holding companies. It's all just one big smoke and mirrors. But so the stock market for them is just something right now that is a house of cards. Yeah, they might have all that money fictitiously, printed right through the stock market, through the S&P 500, but we all know what is really holding that up. Nothing, right? The bond market, which is about to fall.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they get out of that? They need liquidity. How do they get liquidity? Through baby boomers that are going to take their 401ks and Roth IRAs and move it through investment channels such as companies like out there like NewView that are going to allow them without tax infractions to put it into a Bitcoin ETF. So now their portfolio, their pension funds and things like that are moved over. Now, pension fund, if you're a person that's on a pension, let's say a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, you're not in control of that pension. The board members are the ones that make the decisions for the pension, right? The union president and stuff like that. So they don't even need you necessarily to have any authorization as to how your pension is being utilized. So that pension fund could be addressed by Larry Fink or by JP Morgan and say, hey, listen, we want to offer your pension a great opportunity to buy into this Bitcoin ETF. Now that whole pension's moved into a Bitcoin ETF, you have no say about it, and then the rug gets pulled on it. Now what happened to your pension?
So hey, I got a question for you then. Speaking as somebody that has parents that are older that are on pensions, is there any way I could direct my parents to say, hey, can you get your pension self-directed somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, you technically utilize financial instruments that are out there. Like I was saying, like that company New View, or there's a few others out there, and they could have that company reach out to their agent from the pension and have that cashed out and moved into another financial instrument. So you could actually do it where you're holding the physical asset of XRP, or whatever stable coin.
Kind of like going to like an iTrust Capital account from a standard teachers or firefighters pension fund.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I need to work on that, and I'll talk to Alan to get your information to maybe get a little bit of advice, a little bit of direction.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll just have my partner Dan, who's an accountant, help them with that. That's what he does on my business side of things. And we have an agent and representative through the New View department that does that. And this way your parents or whoever it is that you're talking about, family member, will be structured properly. Yeah.
And the reason why I asked that question is because the whole play of all of a sudden the Bitcoin ETF and then grab the baby boomers, get them in, re-liquefy the system, and then rug pull the baby boomers sounds very plausible. And I'd like to mitigate against that if at all possible. That's all I had.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember the last time when we were talking, I put that one link up for the pension fund. It's the largest teachers pension fund out of California. And how currently they're insolvent. They had to borrow $30.5 billion to cover their pensionees, right? Because they didn't have the capital to pay out the pensions.
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly is going to happen to that pension? What's going to happen to all those California teachers that retire? They're not getting any money. Once that goes belly up, their pension's over. It's going to, the federal government's going to have to come in and do a bailout of some sort, but we already know where that's headed.
Yeah, same thing with any kind of insurance. I when I talk to old people that have no clue about what's going on, like perfect example, I was talking about my people at work. I'm like, yeah, hey, the FDIC it's an insurance program. If everybody cashes out at one time and everything goes collapse, that insurance is only going to pay out so much if it even is around. I mean, companies go bust all the time. It's essentially insurance companies. I'm really curious
when
on
Biden signed the PUA,
work.
The Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, PUA, there was a small clause in there that FDIC is not responsible for financial instruments if there is a global catastrophe, if there is a national catastrophe, or if there's a pandemic. So they're already eradicated from having to be responsible for everyone. And now Sipe, if anyone's ever watched Sipe, his YouTube channel has been following him for a long time. He showed a video about maybe 6 months ago where the whole board and panel for the FDIC were laughing during a meeting about how the FDIC is completely insolvent right now. So they have no money.
I remember that.
Yeah. So the FDIC they're insolvent. Now, the other thing people don't realize, okay, yeah, legally they still have to cover you if they are able to verify that your funds are legitimate and you have up to $250,000. What people don't understand now with the guidelines is they have up to a decade to verify that your funds were in a legitimate financial holding in the bank. And then after it's been verified, they have up to 30 years to pay you back, like a mortgage. So people are like, oh, yeah, my money just disappears and reappears. It's not how it works. You might not get your money back for 40 years. So what are you doing? And after the 10 years, after it's been validated and verified, you're on a payment plan. So what's $250,000 over 30 years after inflation kicks in and everything else? It's nothing. So
it's like $600 a month.
Basically, yeah.
Your Social Security check.
Yeah, it's $600 a month because they don't have to pay interest on the money they're paying you. And so on a $250,000 mortgage, in 2007, that was at 7% or 6%, that was $2,300. Now it's $1,300 because when you do a refi at 3%, but still you're still paying that 3%, and it's $1,300 a month, which means with no interest, especially front loaded interest, now you're talking about $600.
Yeah. And the great thing the funny thing that's going to come out too, and I've been talking about this for a long time, is watch all these life insurance policies that start going belly up. So these life insurance companies that are out there, everyone didn't know this for the longest time, and I was telling people this for forever. People are like, "Oh, I got life insurance," and I'm like, "Oh, what'd you get?" And they're like, "Oh, I got term." I was like, "That's so stupid. You got robbed." Or they're like, "Oh, I got full life," and I said, "Full life with what?" "Oh, just full life." And I'm like, if you're going to get life insurance, all the rich people, what they do is it's called cash value life insurance policy. So in the end, you get the actual cash value of that life insurance policy. It's non-taxed. Government can't ever go after you for taxation. It's like a shell from the IRS. The IRS can never do anything.
So it's basically a savings account.
It's a savings account, which is high yield interest. So the return on the money is like ridiculous. It's compounded. So this is what all the rich people do. All these life insurance policies right now, if you're following, are starting to get cashed out. Why are they getting cashed out now, some of them? And as we follow the trajectory of the collapse, you're going to see those life insurance policies become more and more liquidated. That's how you're also going to see the sign that we're getting close to the tail end of the financial restructuring. Because all the rich people are going to be utilizing their vehicle of saving themselves, which is cash value life insurance policies.
Okay, hey, I'm going to be right back. I need to make a phone call real quick, but I'll be right back.
You're calling your life insurance policy, Sean?
Yes.
No. That's funny. But no, I'll be right back.
So there's another insurance, a 701 or something like that. It's a I know Coach JB talks about it a little bit. I don't know if you watch his channel, but shout out to Coach JB if he ever sees my videos or our videos. He's got some type of insurance thing that's very beneficial. Maybe someone in the chat knows a little bit about it, but that was another thing that I was going to look into. I just recently heard about that. There's many ways of actually kind of keeping your generational wealth secure. I love, Adam, that you were part of this and you got that deep knowledge and just good connections, and several other people in the chat put some comments out as well. I appreciate you guys throwing the comments out there. Tyran said something about that Roth. I know there's some people using up Link 2. I'm not in any part of that. I just personally took the hit and cashed out my 401k and rolled it in the crypto. It was my best plan. I wanted to get my assets secured and vault before. You never know. The institutions really could come in at one swoop and buy up all this XRP, and that's all the supply that was ever meant to be. So at my point in the game, I'd rather be safe than sorry. You and I talked about that a little bit, Adam, as far as, you'd be really upset if you lost some of your XRP or didn't have an opportunity to buy XRP if you are trying to get to a certain type of accumulation. I had a number in my head. I still haven't got there. I still acquire XRP on occasion. I really don't care what the price is under $1. In my opinion, anything under $1 is going to be just jump change. You're going to be laughing about this. Like, we literally bought XRP at cents and several other digital assets. I mean, I really think a lot of people are sleeping on Stellar. You got some people are on the opposite end. They just believe Stellar is going to do nothing. But, at this point in the game, I think it's pretty safe that I think Stellar is going to do some good things. I think it's going to be way undervalued. I think it's going to be quite a bit higher than we even anticipate. Some have speculated 50% of the price of XRP. I don't know if we could get there personally, but I couldn't see why it couldn't be a fourth of XRP. When we were at $2 XLM
No,
got.
I mean, XLM could be extremely high price just because it's handling, over the counter payment systems, right? P2P, over the counter, ACH. If you saw how much money is being used in the money transmitter space for, corporations and transactions. I mean, look at these companies like Clover, American Express. These companies are worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. And these are just a fraction of the companies that are handling transactions, right? Transaction fees. So, Stellar is going to be basically taking over all of that. I could easily see XLM being a couple thousand to $10,000 a token once it fully matures. Who knows? The thing is this: like, we don't really know where the price of these assets are going to go, just because we were talking about so much money here, and people aren't privy to this type of information with how much money moves across the ledger, right? On the back end of the banking system. It's just, the numbers would make the average person sit there and just be mind blown, because, the average person looks to try and get to a point of their career where they're breaking six figures or they're making six figures. And the reality is, when you get to a certain level of finance, those numbers mean nothing. Those numbers mean absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, right on.
Okay, I'm back.
What's up, John? So, and that's why I mentioned XLM. I mean, think about it, really. If Elon actually brings on X.com and he uses Stellar, I mean, he literally straight up said, and I believe him when he says it, that he wants to get 50% of the payments. Retail payments, obviously, we're talking about here. I really don't see another platform being able to handle that kind of volume, be able to scale, be able to have the partnerships and agreements and the relationships that XRP and XLM have set. And I believe they're obviously been working together since the get-go, even though they split and whatever people want to say about it. I believe that the interoperability rate there is far greater of a topic to talk about than anything, really. I mean, what better two networks to work together, retail and wholesale?
Hey, Alan, question for you. Has there been any rumblings of Twitter/X having any partnerships with XRP, XLM, HBAR Algo, or any of the other ones? Has anybody heard any whisperings?
That's a good question, Sean.
All hints that they're all hints, Sean. Like, you could see, like, if you follow the Riddlers, it's kind of funny. Like, they all hint to the to being connected with these assets. They all give subtle hints. So that's why, like, we all know it's going to happen. They can't come out and directly say it because of the NDAs and everything else that's going on. I mean, think about it. If they came out and said, yeah, guys, we're going to be utilizing HBAR for this, we're going to be utilizing XLM for this, we're going to be utilizing XRP for this, well, then what happens to the price of the asset?
Correct.
Right?
I get that.
And now the institutions that are supposed to be in first aren't, right? We're the lucky ones. Like, we're at the basin floor right now, kicking the pebbles around, waiting for the huge flood to come in so that we can be brought to the top. And everyone else is on the other side of the dam. Like, hey, what's going on? Everything's good. There's only so much higher we could go with this water table.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what, Adam? What cracks me up about that whole scenario you just put out is that us plebes have been kicking pebbles around and sniffing around doors and looking at vacant storage units to find crumbs of what might be. And these big institutional guys, if I were them, I would be sniffing with the plebes and figuring out what the game plan is and getting in ahead of it. That's what's really boggled my mind about this whole space, is that the institutional guys, and maybe it's just because of their old playbook, and I get it, and the old way of doing business, and I get that too because typically, I call them the white shoe boys. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and all those guys. They've always been ahead of the curve for 100 years, and I get it. But the paradigm has changed, and there's no young person in the white shoe boy club that's like, "Hey, we need to get ahead of this." I mean, Jordan Belfort got ahead of it.
I'm definitely going to reflect on what you're talking about. Just give me a second. Sophie made a comment about Trump and that he's not going to institutionalize CBDCs. I mean, he's just saying that, Sophie. Don't listen to the news. The news is there to distract you and to confuse you, because the reality of the whole situation is he has no choice. Trump is a puppet, unfortunately, and I hate to say that, but it's the honest truth. They don't give presidents the podium unless you're going to follow forward with their plan. And if Trump didn't follow with their plan, he would be assassinated just like John F. Kennedy, or attempted to, like Ronald Reagan. So, you have to realize that, Sophie. Now, the other thing is, when you're talking about everything with these institutions, they're already in bed with Ripple and with Stellar. They're the ones that are running this from the top. But at the same time, they're acting like they're not. So they're playing both sides.
Oh yeah,
They're playing both sides. And this is all being front run by the banks. They're doing it. They're the puppeteers, but they don't want anyone else to know. They're trying to get you to be invested in all the financial instruments that are going to fail and crumble. Because if you're in that financial investment that's going to be liquidated, now you are dependent on the government. And that's exactly where they want you. They want you dependent on the government, right?
absolutely.
And if you're in the same position as them, well, then where are their serfs? How do they have people to do their bidding and do all their dirty work? Who's going to be at the country club to carry their golf clubs? Who's going to be at the country club to clean their clubs? Who's going to be at the country club to serve them drinks? Who's going to be their maid or their butler at their mansion? If we all knew what was going on, right, and we had the same investment opportunities, then everyone would be wealthy. But they can't have that. So they have to constantly distract you and keep you suppressed so that you can't invest, or you don't invest because you're too scared to make the move, even though you might have done all of your due diligence, you might have done all of your homework, you might have done all of your research, and you're like, wow, well, to a T, with the T crossed and the I's dotted, this is exactly where I need to put my money, but I'm still afraid to do it because my financial advisor, who went and got a Series 6 or a Series 7, doesn't even have a college degree, but he has a Series 6 or a Series 7, is telling me what to do with my money because the vice president of his fund's telling him what to do. Just like the mortgage broker who worked for a mortgage bank was being told what to do by the vice president of the mortgage bank, and that vice president was getting his orders from the president, and that president was getting his orders from the president of the whole region, right? But no, we're too big to fail. Then everyone is, sitting on the balls of their ass wondering what happened. So.
Wow. No, you just said something else. Something else that I just wanted to touch on is that I remember, 6-7 years ago when I had my business. Well, I still have my business. Well, I have a business, but when I had a different business, there was the payroll company that I hired to do payroll and taxes for me and my employees was like, "Hey, you should get a 401k," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I funded the 401k with $25, right, at inception. Then the next month, I didn't contribute to my 401k. No, I'm sorry, $50. So the second month, they charged me a $25 fee, but I only had $50 in there. And when that happened, I was like, why the hell am I doing a 401k when they're charging me $25 a month? That means I need to contribute at least $500 a month to not notice the $25. And I was like, this is some crap.
Sean, you know what the 401k was, right?
I know it was a government construct.
Do you know why it was constructed?
I partially know, but I know you're going to fill in the blanks.
So what happened in 1920s? We had the Great Depression, right? So that whole generation took their money out of the financial institutions, such as, i.e., banks, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
how do we get people to put their money back in the banks? How do we get them to trust the banks, let alone trust the stock market? Well, what we did was the government went to all these big companies back then, Fortune 100, 200, 300, 500, and they said to them, listen, we have a big problem. The S&P 500 is dead. We're trying to get it started. We're trying to get, it rocking and rolling again so we can get people invested back into the stock market so we could steal their money, just like we've done time and time again. But we can't get anyone involved. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer you as a company a tax break for you to offer a 401k to your employee. And you're going to match whatever they put in so that that money gets invested back into the stock market. And that's why 401ks were created, to get people to invest their money back into the stock market, because no one wanted to touch financial instruments, banking instruments, or the stock market at all until the 401k
Right.
was created.
And then I have another one. I have a friend's dad that said to me, we were talking fine. This was years and years ago, probably 15 years ago, that said that he had put money in an annuity. And when he put the money in an annuity, let's call it, for easy numbers, call it $10,000. After 10 years, when he cashed out the annuity to take care of some things, guess how much money he had? $10,000. But in the meantime, it went up, it went down, it went da 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 da. But at the end of the day, it was basically a savings account. And I said, well, an annuity is not a place to go because the way an annuity was sold to me as a bystander, not somebody directly influenced by it or was studying it or anything else, is that you put 10 grand to an annuity, you sell it sit for 10 years. Let's say you're going to make 2 to 3% per year. And so at the end of the 10-year span, you have more than $10,000. It didn't work out so that way.
Yeah,
So
Gene.
why did you bring up the whole annuity play? What was the what point were you trying to make, Sean? I'm sorry, I wasn't gathering.
No, 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 no. The tracking was that the annuity was always sold to me or billed to me, whether it be in a radio commercial, TV commercial, whatever, that it was an investment instrument in order for you to have price appreciation on your deposits over time. But the scenario I described to you was that now it might have been bad timing on the market. I'm not sure, but at the same time, where's that 2 to 3% a year you were supposed to get? It was never there. There were the person that sold the annuity was catching fees every month, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like a CD, right?
Yeah,
The CD, you can't touch your money; it's locked away. But in the end, what are you getting? 3%. I think now, like maybe 5 if you're lucky. You're better off. I mean, like the banks, whatever they offer you as an investment strategy, it's not what the bank is doing. And that's why I always laugh. That's why I can never buy into, financial advisors. I have tons of friends that are financial advisors, and I'm like, I'll never use you. And they're like, well, why won't you use me? Because I'm like, I could make more money on my own without you. You're going to give me everything that the bank's wanting to use my money and my capital to invest with. I want to invest the same way the bank's investing. Are you going to offer me the same strategy?
yeah. And here's my last point, and then we can move on to another topic. Is that I have another friend. This is back in 2019. We were talking crypto and this, that, and the third. And at the same time, he had, let's call it an E-Trade account, but he had a friend of his from our high school, let's say, that was managing his funds, and he was beating the market by 30% year over year. And I didn't believe it was even possible because I've been watching too much CNBC and Fox Business for so many years that you can't beat the market by more than 8 or 10%. But because this guy had a very hard job, he was studying the market, studying the charts day after day after day, almost till literally made him sick, like physically ill. But he was beating the markets by 30% just by studying and learning the trends and doing all the due diligence and everything else. And I was like, that's possible? That's the stuff they never
Oh
teach you or
yeah.
never tell you. So that was a awakening through my crypto journey of what is possible.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, when I had a Fidelity account, I think I had a return for the year of 34%. And, you know, it was pretty much just following the sentiment of the market. If you follow the sentiment that's being forecasted and you do the opposite of whatever Jim Cramer said, I was utilizing his news on Bloomberg. I was getting a return of 34% at the end of the year on my investment strategy. And I sat there and I said, this is like taking candy from a baby. And
Yeah,
you know,
and that's one of the things I love from DAI. DAI is like if CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg is telling you to go one way, always go the other way. And then the the crypto Twitter was like the inverse Kramer effect. I didn't even know that was a thing. You know, in 2015, if I was watching Jim Cramer and he said, "Oh, you need to buy such and such share," I would have been like, "Okay, he knows what he's doing. I'm in." But
yeah,
hey,
I always use Jim Cramer as my buy and sell candles for whenever I was doing my trading on Fidelity, and it was pretty funny. As soon as he said something's going to be hot, that's when I pulled the plug. As soon as he said something's not going to work, that's when I bought in, and it always worked. It always worked.
what you
Hey,
got,
Sean, is that
Alan?
a 3,000? Is that a 3,000 right there?
Whoa. Say that again.
Is that
Your
a
car
3,000?
photo. Is that a 3,000 GT?
Yeah, Toyota,
Yeah.
1971.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I know we're going aside from the whole topic, but yes, that is the car that was designed and built, and Ferrari stole the design for the 365 GTB4, which is the black Ferrari in the TV show Miami Vice.
Yeah.
They stole that
All
design, and
cars.
so Datsun also stole it for the 240Z. And so that's been one of my all-time favorite cars. And that car you're looking at, if you can find one, is probably about $2.5 million.
Well, the other car that's very similar to that is a Miura. That's why.
Is the which one?
Lamborghini Miura.
Oh yeah.
So
So
someone
yes,
keeps
that's
saying
a
Loki's at S6 if you use Stellar X or aluminum swap. No need to worry about the whole. Okay, people
I
are
like
talking about
that, Fred.
SHX.
I like that because the lobster wallet's a little confusing when you're getting SHX because there's too many pairs. There's a lot of pairs in there. So appreciate you dropping that. Is it does get a little confusing. I've been trying to accumulate some SHX lately, and let me add GDLT coming to the stage. What up, G?
what
Good to
up,
see you, buddy.
G?
Yo, how's it going, guys?
G.
So G, the SkillX wallet, I can't even pronounce that one, or LunaSwap, you think that's a better wallet to get SHX on than the Lobster wallet currently with all the pair confusions?
Stellar X, you mean?
I think that's what he put down here. I can't really see the chat. Yes, Stellar X. Yes, correct. Or LunaSwap.
Yeah, I like Stellar X, the Stellar Dex for sure. Lobster wallet is fine, just making sure to have the correct issuer address, and then that's it. And you can confirm the issuer address through Stellar or SDEX Explorer. Here, I'll share the link in the chat. But I like Lobster wallet because it's it's more of a wallet solution. It's not like you're leaving your crypto on a DEX.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, in terms of acquiring SHX and maybe sending it out, yeah, Stellar Dex is great. You can acquire your SHX and then send it out to your cold wallet and then do your thing.
All right, there is the address. Those of you want to copy down.
Yeah, if you go to the Stellar or the SDEX Explorer, you'll see all the Stellar ecosystem cryptos. You'll see SHX right there at number 2. And then you'll see the issuer and the issuer address there. And that's the one that you want to align on Lobster Wallet with.
Appreciate you sharing that, G.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
gonna hide it, yes.
It's also a good site to find other XLM gems in the ecosystem there before XLM starts taking off with smart contracts and Sorbonne and all that good stuff.
I guess you can get it straight from stronghold.co, apparently, according to lower level.
That's the issuers. Like when you go through Lobster Wallet, sometimes it'll just show you the names of the issuer. And there's the one that I got confused with on Lobster was strongholdpay.co. So that I accidentally chose the wrong issuer, but luckily it was only with a small bag of SHX that I was building up. But strongholdco.co is the correct issuer. And then if you want to, be more diligent, you can see on the SDEX Explorer, if you click on Stronghold there, or even just underneath its name right there, you can see the first 4 digits and the last 4 digits of the issuing account.
I slept a little too long on the SHX, man. I still am going to acquire some because I know it's going to definitely take us to the next level. And a few of the other assets on the platform. But, it's so speculative. So which one's going to profit you more? It's like, do you take money out of another crypto to put it into another one? I don't. I'm any little bit of extra money that I get, which isn't much lately, unfortunately, that's the way it is, life circumstances. But I am absolutely putting a little bit of money in some of these other assets, and SHX is definitely on my list, and a few other ones that I've been really thinking about lately. We're still early. I still think there's a lot of room for these assets to grow, but more importantly, we're buying in such sub pennies. Just utilizing, on the networks they're going to be running on is going to save us a ton of money in the long run, and the interoperability that we're going to have of not having to go through something else. Or what if this has really been on my mind, as I've been saying it probably every other stream. What if we do have this great accumulation phase where assets do have to go on chains that are compliant and or under the regulations that have been established? The amicas are out, but we don't have like really full 100% worldwide clarity. So this could either go one way or the other. We do know that there are 2 assets that are at this point kind of grandfathered in. And even the Riddlers talk about it. XRP and BTC is on those charts, on those Riddlers topics. I don't really think it's going to be the value that it is now. I think it's going to give up its crown. More or less, BTC is going to be a stable value, kind of like a gold. Gold doesn't have to do really anything. It could just be essentially a store of value, and that's really what it is. And it's hammered into something or utilized for electronics. That's where the real value is, but it really doesn't have to do anything. BTC could be that one thing that people could use as a store of value, and it could use the XRP or XLM, which it has been. A lot of transactions been done through XRP. I can't remember it. I've heard stories that like 50% of the transactions are actually done on the XRP ledger. Are you wise to that, G? Do you know anything about that? Could you elaborate on what you know about how many payments are actually done using XRP? I know we have pairs. Do you know anything about that?
I've heard about Bitcoin transactions going over the XRP ledger. I don't know in terms of the percentages though. But the thing, I understand the Riddlers had put up, Bitcoin or BTC in the Castle pick. Like the only time I remember a Riddler bringing up BTC was on the Castle pick riddle. And we saw USD there as well, though, right? So we see US dollar, we see BTC, and then in the middle, in the highest place, is XRP. I think BTC is a test. I don't think BTC is never going to stop being volatile. I don't think BTC is ever going to reach a stable price because there's no governance for this platform. We don't even know who the creators are for it. So I don't think it's a digital gold. It's too early to label anything a digital gold with only $1.7 trillion in the market. When there's $200 trillion in the market, I think we're going to know what the real digital gold is. And I'm feeling most likely it's going to be XRP. First DEX ever created. And everybody's all
100%.
about DEXs now, right? Everybody's all about DEXs now.
And layer zeros. I think that's going to be the 2025 topic. What's layer zero? What's layer one? What's actually going to be interoperable? What's the real true interoperable? We were talking about, in the boardroom last night about, developers working on the chain. It's going to be who has the fastest network that could scale the fastest to bring on this mass amount of liquidity that's going to be needed to cover this liquidity crisis that we're going to go into. I mean, this has been the narrative that they've been painting for years now. Liquidity crisis, liquidity. I just really don't see how they're really going to be able to cover all this liquidity without certain, like the XRP has that escrow.
Well, look at the partnership that was just announced, I think, yesterday. I think it was Flare and Google, if I'm correct.
And then HBAR and XRP. We had heard some. Yeah. Does anybody?
Dude, that made me so bullish. I was so happy to see that because we've been speculating that there's a connection between them, and now you're seeing them in the same room, in the same photo together. Like, love it.
I think this is going to be the year, guys, when we start seeing that whole Web 3.0, like how it's been layered out with Quant Network, the Overledger, Interledger. You're going to see all those connections start getting ironed out, along with the governance being ironed out. And that's when everyone's going to start connecting the dots and start FOMOing in big time.
Right. Yeah, well said, dude. Exactly. I mean, and then you got Chainlink with CCIP, you got the Atom ecosystem with inter-blockchain communication, and they did a presentation at the Interledger Protocol Summit talking about connecting IBC with ILP. And then you have Corium from the XRPL over in the IBC realm now. And you got Solana having collaborations with Ripple for like eco-friendly initiatives. And they're part of the Atom ecosystem as well. Like, you're seeing more and more how all these, like the real boats or the real blockchains that are attracting real developers and creators and all that type of stuff, like how it's shaping for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I'm really excited about where, after we get past this speculative bull cycle of really the adoption starting to happen and with businesses and companies all over the world, really. I mean, we know it's happening in Dubai. It's eventually going to happen here. I mean, there's going to be boots on the ground. People like you and I mean, let's say we don't moon. Let's say we don't get, $100 XRP or $10 XLM for some of us that need to really cash out. A lot of us are going to potentially have some really good jobs that we could be, taking advantage of, making a butt ton of money because we know how the system works and we know exactly where it's going. I've been really contemplating on just kind of getting boots on the ground and hitting up businesses because eventually they're going to need the help. It's like, who better to teach these people what they're going to need to do to work on these chains? And Chris said, I'm going to put this in here. I'd love to have Quincy come on. I actually have shouted him out a few times. I would love to work with that dude, actually develop something, get some type of real system set up where you can utilize these payments. I mean, we know XRP's got clarity. Why couldn't we use that? If the judge already said secondary sales or constitute is not a security, hey, in my opinion, it's game on. You said it wasn't a security, judge. You can't sue me for utilizing something that's not a security. Why can't I use that system right now? Why can't I go and I tokenize a company right now, get them on chain, get them to make payments, have everybody else that wants to buy their product utilize a technology like this and make those payments in real time? Okay, I can easily set up another ledger to collect the taxes even on that. I mean, this is very simple. The system has already been set. It's already in motion. I say capitalize on it, because somebody's going to. I'm sure there's probably something like Proppy or one of those other tokens out there that have also got the same mindset and have already probably got something in place. And that's kind of where I'm going next in my 2024, 2025. If what if kind of deal. I'm really excited about what I could do with the particular company that I'm starting up, and I'm definitely going to be utilizing this technology. So
Yeah. And this year is going to be, I mean, it's uncharted territory, man. It's hard predicting what's going to happen in this year. We've been through our longest bear cycle yet to date. So we do feel like we're due for a bull cycle this year. But at the same time, we still don't know who the creators of Bitcoin are. We have a Bitcoin ETF, which, is new territory for all of us as well. We don't know how these institutions are going to try to manipulate the market to either get cheaper Bitcoin. I've been saying they've been getting cheap XRP for God knows how long, right? So maybe they don't even want cheap Bitcoin after we just heard what Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan just said today about it. And the funny thing is I actually agreed with what he was saying for once. The dude was agreeing with saying, like, I was agreeing with him saying Bitcoin is the pet rock in the industry of crypto. He's literally saying it is a pet rock, but the technology is real and we are actually using it. He is saying you can do a smart contract, you can tokenize. He was talking about all these other innovations, maybe possibly Ethereum or something. I understand Ethereum has like a really big role to play, but he was saying like a lot of things that I was happening to agree with, man.
Thank you, G, because I was saying the same thing before you came on.
Like, I don't always agree with everything that he says, but what he said today or yesterday at Davos, I was like, dude, this guy's drinking the Ripple Kool-Aid. He probably was meeting up with Brad Garlinghouse and going like, or he was meeting up with HBAR and Brad Garlinghouse going, hey, man, XLM too. Those are like the only three ecosystems that I know of that are a World Economic Forum is XLM, HBAR, and XRP. And he's like, hey, this is all we need. We don't need Bitcoin.
Gee, I have never agreed with anything that Jamie Dimon has said since I've been in the space, and that's 5 years. And then today I'm like, what? That made me late to the stream listening to him. I'm like, what? Go ahead.
There's something in the snow up there in Davos, man, that's getting him excited about these projects. And what's funny too is you have no Bitcoin representatives being invited to World Economic Forum, especially post Bitcoin ETF. There is still nobody. Even I forgot what the name of the representative for supposedly for Bitcoin. That guy,
Max Kaiser.
Invited to, what's up?
Max Kaiser.
Yeah, Max Kaiser. or what was there was another guy. He has like a really unusual last name or first name or something like that. But yeah, Max Kaiser. I don't see.
You're talking about the gentleman that owns Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is his name.
Oh yeah, or Michael Saylor. That guy too. There was this other dude. I'm totally forgetting it. I know some
Ray Dalio.
Not Ray Dalio. I think his name was like Pavlos Paramantius or something like that. It's like a weird name. I know some OGs in the stream know what I'm talking about. They're probably shouting out the name right now. But yeah,
are you talking about the gentleman that's in Dubai right now?
What's up?
The gentleman that lives in Dubai. He's like from Africa originally. He's a big Bitcoin advocate.
Yeah. Let's see who it is. Nope.
Not Da Vinci. Yeah, Da Vinci. Da Vinci's. Okay, I thought you were talking about Da Vinci.
Not Pompliano. Here, I'm gonna try to find it. But outside of the like, I'll find it once there's like a little bit of like somebody else is talking for a good bit. I'll end up finding the name. But yeah, he was kind of like the representative for Bitcoin for a bit. I do remember. Oh no, not Anthony Pompliano. It's a weird name. I'll find it, guys. Don't worry about it. I appreciate everybody trying to search for this now. But
yeah, no worries.
I'm just trying to say you're not seeing any representatives for Bitcoin being invited to this type of stuff, dude. So is it Pablo Spigardi? Maybe it is Pablo Spigardi. I don't know if that's really true though, but we'll find out. But it was just funny seeing JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon. Like I was like, wow, I'm actually aligning with what this guy is saying. Holy crap.
Well, because they've been in this narrative from the beginning. They're just waiting for the time. It's like the person that's holding the secret for the longest time. You know what I mean? And they're just like they're sweating bullets because they just want to let the cat out of the bag. They're like holding their mouth closed, and now all of a sudden they can start to talk about it. So they're all
Totally.
giggly because they're, you know, they have the largest holdings in these assets.
Totally, man. It's so crazy, dude. It's so crazy how like this whole show, like Larry Fink having a smile on his face in terms of the XRP ETF question. Like, dude, it's like we must be so close to the dragon just burning this 99% of crypto away. Like, Year of the Dragon does mean wealth, but could also mean like, okay, sorry, regulations are coming in. Bye bye crypto, like the crypto Wild West as you know it.
I think Jamie
Well, I
Dimon
think
knows who
Year of the
four
Dragon's going to
Satoshis
be
are.
burning down everything, because if you think
Yeah.
about it, what also came out? So what they've been showing is The Simpsons, right? And how they've been correlating. What was that? That there was a cartoon with the dragon burning that village, and then they redid that in the
Game of
the
Thrones.
TV show Game of Thrones, right?
Mhm.
And now they re-showed that this year with the Year of the Dragon. So that shows you that they're going to burn down the whole infrastructure this year.
Totally, dude.
Hey, here's what I think. I think
Well
that
said.
Jamie Dimon knows who the four Satoshis are that Homeland Security is talking about, and I think another precursor, not on the financial side, but on the entertainment side, was that interview that Shannon Sharp did with Cat Williams that is up to 50 million views in like 4 days, just
Didn't
burning
even.
down the industry and exposing everybody. So I think this year, the year of the dragon, is going to be a crazy year, and it doesn't matter what stage you're on, whether it be finance or entertainment or whatever. A lot of people are going to get exposed for a lot of things, and I don't mean like the Me Too movement.
Oh,
I mean like just showing the truth.
right.
But
Exactly.
at the same time that they're being exposed, nothing's going to happen. That's going to be the
Yeah.
funniest thing.
Dude, everybody's just going to be looking at their phones and then swiping up to the next thing. That's literally what our reality is. It's like they're going to find out a bunch of people made a ton of money off XRP, go, "Oh, wow, good for them," and then scroll up to the next topic. Like or swipe right to the next topic. I found out the guy's name, by the way. Andreas Antonopoulos. This guy was like
Oh yeah, he was like the spokesperson for all of this. I remember him.
yeah. You're not seeing him
Whatever
getting
happened
invited
to
to
him?
World. I have no clue, man. I just found his YouTube video and I was like, this is the
He
guy.
was like he was like the they considered him like the smartest person in the world, and then all of a sudden, like, he was appearing
MIA.
everywhere, and yeah, now he's just gone, disappeared.
He cashed out his BTC.
Yeah, exactly. He's a backdoor magician.
Yeah, Antonopoulos, Greek guy. I remember him. I remember him
Right.
from like 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, what happened to Maccabee? I think he's still alive, bro. I don't think
Him and
he-
Antonopoulos are hanging out on the Greece island, the one where they have the movie The House of Onion, or The Onion House, or whatever the heck that movie was. They're hanging out at that island that's for sale for like $250 million.
Oh, nobody's buying that thing, man. I really. Who's gonna buy that island?
I'm
man?
gonna buy it once all my XRP goes. I'm buying it.
I don't want nothing to do with that dark cloud place. Oh my god, to cleanse that place would take 1 million of the holiest people.
Alan, I'm sending you there. You're gonna start your horticulturist occupation there.
I had to burn it to the ground just to cleanse it. I mean, the amount of darkness that was done in that island is just far untouchable. I wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. I would rather build one like they did in Dubai, build my own island with a dredge before I bought that island. But anyway, some crazy person will probably buy it, I'm sure. Real estate is real estate, and some people don't care about what goes on in them places. Me personally, I do. That's part of why I would never touch it. But I plan on having my own island and having a nice little kind of paradise that that everybody can come to and enjoy, and not be part of a crazy psychic cult that they had going on there. But it's going to be very exciting where this is going to go.
A lot of people are going to be caught by surprise. A lot of surprises this year. I got this year and the years beyond. It's just like the veil coming down, and it's just full of truth. We get what the real boats are in this space, not just like, oh, we're speculating. with $1.7 trillion. Like, we're going to find out what the real cryptos are that are changing lives and, you know, changing the world and solving real world problems.
We're going to find out that Gary Gensler isn't Gary Gensler. It's actually Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton actually isn't Hillary Clinton. She's actually Nancy Pelosi, and
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi isn't Nancy Pelosi. It's actually Michael Obama.
Right. We already know that, just like we know who the 4 Satoshis pretty much are.
Dude, I don't know if you guys saw the new. They've been throwing out this new commercial for the Curb Your Enthusiasm final season, and they show Larry David coming across an alien, and then literally he removes his mask to reveal that he's an alien as well, and then joining them on the ship. Like, what the heck is going on, man? What the heck is going on?
That makes sense. Everything's now making sense.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're just so transparent with everything that they're doing. Like, I think they're just trying to really, like, they've already did it subtly, and then now it's like, let's be more obvious about it. So then when they switch to the real reality, it's like, hey, we've been telling you right in front of your faces, right? XRP is an intergalactic currency. The aliens gave it to us. Here we go.
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but that is fun to speculate.
It really is. It's amazing now that we're at this standstill moment and got all this wonderful adoption. Can you talk a little bit about what you heard about XRP and HBAR? Right, I didn't get the news today, so I was so busy at work I could not even get any of the news. So talk about it, G.
Yeah, no problem. The video is not out yet, so we don't have a video of the discussion or interview that Brad Garlinghouse and Lehman Beard from HBAR, but they were on the similar panel, and they were being interviewed by the same interviewer, and both of them were based like one of the major quotes is like, the industry will work best if we're all working together, right? So I think there's maybe some connections here. I mean, dude, like, there's not many of these projects that are invited to World Economic Forum to begin with. And the only 3 that we're very aware of that are there are HBAR, XLM, and XRP, right? Some people have speculated Algorand. There was like an Algorand connection there because HBAR and Algorand have a partnership, and Ripple and Algorand have a collaboration with some eco-friendly stuff. But those were the 3 that were there. And then you have Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple literally on the same panel. I mean, Brad Garlinghouse and HBAR, the Lehman Beard guy, getting interviewed. The video is not out yet in terms of the interview, but one of the big like quotes was like, the industry will here, let me find the quote there. But that's where it's like getting now, like, HBAR community and XRP army can like unite and be like, our crypto is manipulated as hell. Because like HBAR under 10 cents is a freaking joke, man. Like, this crypto's been manipulated to oblivion for sure.
Oh, it's insane suppression.
And they both have great governance structures. Like, XRP's got a great governance. You got the governing council for HBAR as well, which is like a lot of big names in there. But here, let me try to find that video clip there for you, Father Allen. Or not the video.
What about that commercial that they were showing for Davos? And they keep going back to some of the Riddler references, and they show Brad Garlinghouse's red button for the closed loop system.
No way, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, and it's just like, it's crazy. And then they're talking about Coinbase and referencing that, and how that's going to be a closed loop with the circle. It's just crazy, all the subtle, innuendo.
Right. Yes. And it leading with all the proper party stuff. And I get you. Yeah. Okay. So here, I am I allowed to like share a link or whatever? Here, let me see. Yeah. Share screen.
As long as it's kosher.
Okay. No, yeah, I got you. I understand.
Just don't nobody be trying to. All right, let's see what we got here.
All right, so here's the shared screen, and here's the
full
post
screen here. Is it full screen?
Okay. Yeah. So
okay, I can't hear any audio, so you got to let me know when to end. I can't figure out how to fix that on StreamYard.
This is a 22-second sneak peek video of the interview of these two, but it's just these two being interviewed. the public blockchain for business, and XRP and HBAR are the only two being interviewed here at the World Economic Forum. And so M. Walker Williams is certainly making the most of World Economic Forum 2024's sneak peek of the chat between Layman Beard and Brad Garlinghouse today, talking about how we can better work together as an industry. So then I'm going to play the video. I don't know if we're going to be able to hear it, but let's see what they say. Here we go. Oh, that's.
I can hear it.
Okay. See, oh, my bad. My internet's
just. Where tribalism is not helpful to us. Right. And so if we can work together, Algorand just mentioned that they're going to work on this. We're going to work on this. And we're going to make sure we start to talk about whether we can collaborate as well. So it's going to.
Yes. Oh, my God. So we're going to make sure that we could talk to make sure that we could collaborate as well. Did you guys hear that?
I heard part of it.
Okay. Let's watch this clip again. Here we go. He's talking about tribalism and how like it's not going to help out with all this tribalism. Here we go.
This is another place where tribalism is not helpful to us. Right. And so if we can work together, Algorand just mentioned that they're going to work on this. We're going to work on this. And we're going to make sure we start to talk about whether we can collaborate as well. So it's going to, oh, wow, fantastic. Possibly. That's and we're going to talk about how we can collaborate with the things you were talking about for scam identification and dealing with it. I think that we can work together in a lot of ways as an industry. This is another place.
Dude, I can't wait to see the full interview of this because that already made me so damn bullish that like Brad Garlinghouse like stepped up and say, and us, talking about working together here, and he, Layman Beard is trying not to break NDAs, and he's like, yeah, possibly. Oh, yeah, I love it, man.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what I was talking about in the last few streams. I'm like, I just feel like there's going to be this moment in time to where we're going to have these chains. They've got to adapt, they've got to adapt. They realize that they can only do a certain function. Each one of these chains were really designed to do a function, but it's just like us coming together. As what I've been trying to do is bring, the YouTubers on one stream. Everybody's got lots to share. Share on a stream once a week. Get your viewers to, get your view count up. I would like to promote a lot of these channels and get everybody in one group to focus on what we can do as a community to level up for 2024, 2025, help us to get to the next level. And I think this is kind of where everything is going. Look at the blockchains. You just saw one and the other join together to bring a better system, be more interoperable, and, provide a niche that another network doesn't have. So I really see this as where it's going to be going in 2024 and in 2025, and only the strong are going to survive and the rest are going to go away. I mean, Brad alluded to it so long ago that 99% of crypto is going to go away, and it just makes sense. Those that don't have the scalability, don't have the networks to even run on, more importantly is all these crypto projects that are out there, what network are they going to run on? Is it IBM?
Probably.
Is it Linux? Which one of these is going to have the computing power to push this payment system, throughout the world?
It's the ISO network. So if you're not in this project base for Web3, you have to be certified as an ISO compliant project. If you're not, then you're not on the Web3 protocol system. You're no longer part of the cryptocurrency environment.
Agreed. ISO 222 is going to be the deciding factor, and not enough people in crypto know what ISO 222 is. So that's why they're going to be so shocked when they do see 99% go away. But then the community here that knows about possibly every ISO 222 compliant crypto, or, some of them, I feel we're at a point right now where there's some cryptos saying they're ISO 222 compliant and they really aren't, but they're just trying to draw that type of investor onto their platform. So it gets a little tricky. Like, you want to hear at least some ISO 222 sources acknowledging these platforms as like, something, right? Like we've seen some ISO 220, like obviously Ripple is part of the only DLT focused company that's part of the ISO 222 standards body. So that's a great acknowledgement from ISO 222 that XRP is probably one of the chosen ones, right? If not the first chosen one. IBM being a part of it, R3 being a part of it. So then that puts like XLM and XDC in their SHX, right? They've talked about being ISO 222 compliant. Love HBAR. HBAR is saying they're ISO 222 compliant. They have a hell of a governance council. Algorand, ISO 222 compliant. There's a lot of other cryptos out there that I'm not like bringing up right now because I don't want to go down the list. But what I'm saying is like not enough. A lot of people in crypto are just looking for really quick gains, overnight gains, short-term tradable type of stuff. They're not looking for, they're not looking for these, cryptos that are going to possibly be super life-changing down the line once ISO 222 is, really underway.
Hey, G, did you get any Starbridge yet?
Starbridge. Ooh, please tell me about this, Adam.
No. Well, it's just you go through the Web3 protocol, like I was telling you about. If you look at the layered map for the Overledger, Starbridge is part of that. It's like connected to Constellation.
What's the ticker, Adam?
You're talking my language.
What's the ticker for that? What's the name for that?
I don't know. I don't have any. I need to get some. That's like there's a few assets that I'm out that I don't have. It's the few that I don't have is Starbridge, Constellation, or IOTA. So that's what I'm going to be busy packing my bags with this year is those few assets and probably some SHX as well, along with some gaming tokens that are attached to the ISO 222 platform. So like XStar. I've been buying.
Yes,
I like that. Mm-hmm. I got some of that doggy coin. We hear you, Sean, by the way.
Yeah.
Love Dogstar, dude. Yes.
What did Sean say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut Sean off.
No. I just said IOTA because I thought that was kind of a dead project.
No,
apparently they got a good amount of active developers still, man.
Yeah,
they're working in the quiet. They're working in the background right now, and they're not saying anything. But IOTA, the whole thing can't work without IOTA.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to go, if we're just naming off like ISO 222 cryptos, yeah, for sure, SHX is one of those small cap ISO 222 cryptos. I've been getting into this one called Proxima X, XPX. They won a CBDC tech sprint that the BIS held, and they beat out Ripple, Stellar, and R3 for best solution in terms of distributing CBDCs. So I'm like, all right, this one's definitely on the radar for sure as a spec. And it's such a low cap crypto. Like I don't mind taking it's a 000 price range. I don't mind like having $100 in there and seeing what the future looks like for that crypto. What's another one that's like ISO 222? Metal blockchain. If you guys are like XPR Proton fans, I guess Metal blockchain has recently been dubbed ISO 222 compliant blockchain. We talked about DAG. I love DAG. XX Network is building a bridge to the XRPL. Ripple is invested in them, and they're working with the BIS and Swiss National Bank and World Bank on privacy-focused CBDCs. I think XX Network is a massive sleeper.
I am sleeping on that one, G.
Don't forget about VET and Civic. Civic's going to be massive.
Let's go. Dude, yes, boss, man, boss. Civic, and they're building on Solana, dude. And I think Solana's got a big role to play somehow in this future as well, because you have Ripple connections with Solana that a lot of people don't talk about because, like, maximalism, and I get it, I understand, but there's a big connection there between Ripple and Solana, with Greg Kidd, with their collaborations on like eco-friendly initiatives and stuff like that. I think there's a future here for Solana, and Civic migrated over from Ethereum over to Solana. They got connections with IBM, and they're a big identity platform.
You know why that is? I think Solana is going to be what Ethereum was supposed to be.
Yes.
Yeah, but you think so? I mean, how many outages have they had though? Do you really think Solana's I'm not bearish on Solana, but I mean, let's face it. It really could be like the AOL of this whole new Web3, in my opinion. One of them's going to have to be the scapegoat. I mean, I just see one of them failing. One of the most chosen, promising cryptos, even potentially ISO compliant, is going to be the
AOL.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of see that. That's kind of what I mean, it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like FTX. FTX was a you know, really sought after
Alan,
exchange.
that's where I think
Went up.
it's going to be BTC, and then it's going to be ETH. You're going to see those two dominoes fall, and then it's just going to
Totally.
converge over to the ISO network.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BTC
I
and
don't think they'll
Ethereum
go
are
away
the test
completely,
nets.
though. I personally don't think they're going to go away completely. I believe they're going to be way undervalued what they are, but there's too many partnerships and ties with those to. I mean, especially Ethereum. I mean, unfortunately, they were out of the gate way early, purposely, in my opinion, to establish
But
those
Alan, you have to also think about this. There was many ties with Bear Stearns, and what happened to Bear Stearns? It got
Mhm.
replaced. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, same thing happened. So I don't know. I mean, I think BTC. We already know it's going to be the code's going to be rewritten so that it's carbon neutral. Chris Larson's already said that, and then
Yeah.
you're going to see BTC follow the same effect as XRP, the phoenix that rises from the ashes. Which it would probably then become the store of value, the store of gold, essentially. I see BTC being that, but XRP being the interoperable agent for all the digital assets. And that's why to me, like if you're someone that's just starting out, I would really just invest in the top 3 tier 1 cryptocurrencies, XRP, XLM, and XDC. If you don't have the capital to really diversify or, buy up large bags, just buy those 3 predominant currencies, because that's the nucleotide or the nucleus of, the whole new world globalized banking system. Because everything's going to be attached to that.
Yeah, and I still think we're pre-dot-com bubble phase of the crypto market. Like, so we can make money on AOL.
Right.
We can make a lot of money on AOL because AOL is not even big yet in terms of what the AOL crypto is. Right? Like, AOL had its hype cycle, and then the dot-com bubble happens, and then, many variations of AOL, and then unfortunately better things came along. But we're still on the early days of that. I don't even think we've really reached the peak of this crypto bubble, honestly. And I think the pop will be very drastic and hard. And but I still think we need a lot more sheeple in it.
I believe the sheeple are coming, my friend. I believe they're just lining up like dominoes right now.
Sheeple's coming through the conventional banking system called an ETF on a silver platter. And, like Klaus Schwab, like the Horizon event is really 2030. That's where I really see like the major phase 1 of, Web3 having its first, possible bubble collapse or whatever until it gets restructured. And then you'll see like the AOL go to instant messenger or to the next form of like what it needs to navigate to.
Right. And yeah, exactly. And I mean, that last bull cycle brought in so many new people. Like, I had some friends asking how to set up a Coinbase. I had older people asking how to set up a Coinbase, right? And all this stuff, like the Super Bowl commercials, the SNL appearance with Elon saying Doge to the moon, all this stuff, right? Like, we're going to see 2.0 of that. And that's going to draw, there's going to be so many people in this, man. Like, a lot of people are going to have, if Coinbase succeeds, I don't know if they're one of the ones that succeeds or not. It looks like they are. We need at least one of these platforms to be a major app that a majority of people are going to have on their phone, and then FOMOing into cryptos, doggy coins, all that stuff. And then I think that's where we're hitting like peak of bubble status.
I think once that C closes and it turns to an O, that's when BlackRock's going to take that over completely.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
But no, you're absolutely correct, and it's going to be an interesting ride. It's going to be fun to watch all of this. I just tell everyone, like, all you got to do is just hold hold your assets and
Right.
just don't do anything else. There's really nothing else to do.
This one
Absolutely.
guy, I forgot what he's like kind of one of these famous older voices. Damn, I'm effing up. I'm forgetting names today, but he says his thing is don't F this up. Don't freaking F this up.
You're talking about the hedge fund trader,
Ray Dalio.
Ray Dalio.
Ray
Yeah,
Dalio's.
that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, don't try to be cute. Don't try to, like, you know, I'm not a person who tells people what to do, but like, this is what he was saying for other people to do. And he's saying, oh, Raoul Paul. There we go. Raoul Paul.
Raoul Paul was his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, not
His
Dalio.
whole thing
Raoul
is
Paul.
don't F this up. Do not
Mhm.
F
He
this
said
up. Don't
buy
try to
and
be cute.
hold.
Yeah.
He said buy and hold. Don't try to trade. Don't FOMO. Don't do all any of that other drama.
Don't keep
If you
crypto
want
on
to be in here,
exchanges, all this stuff.
yes, just buy and hold.
And I like that strategy. I agree with that, man. Like, especially this year, dude, if we're getting the year of the dragon and maybe the bubble is being popped and reality is happening or something, then yeah, I would be very afraid for being on exchanges because there could be multiple FTX collapses like within this year.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see Ray Portnoy, the gentleman from
Yeah,
Barstool?
he was
Portnoy.
funny, dude. He's like, I
Mm-mm.
just can't get it right with
Barstool Sports.
Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, buying BTC and getting shaken out and
That
selling.
guy was hilarious.
Dude, I talked about that with you, Adam. I got FOMO'd into. So last bull run, you know, we had the narrative of the exchange tokens like blasting off to the moon. I mean, we had crypto.com, we had, you know, Coinbase. You know, Coinbase is a perfect example. And then we had Binance go just crazy to the moon as far as the pricing. Crypto.com was sub pennies. I mean, and then it
Yep.
went to pennies, and then unfortunately I FOMO'd in thinking it was going to go from $1 to, you know, $10 or $100. I mean, there was so much room for it to grow. It was an almost price discovery at like $1. And, you know, I think a lot of us FOMO'd into crypto.com and got
No,
screwed over.
Alan, you know what's crazy? I remember before Crypto.com and FTX, it was Coinbase, Binance, and BitTrue. And I had bought on the Binance platform before it was illegal to be an American citizen and be involved with Binance. I had BNB token. I swear to you, I probably had like 3,000 to 4,000 tokens at sub a penny because it was billed that this token is going to be used within the platform, blah blah blah, for cheaper trading fees, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not a trader, but I'm thinking as I make a trade, if I say, hey, I've got XRP, but I want to get into something else, okay, great. I'll transfer it to BNB, then go into the other token and not have the fees. Great. So it's just a utility thing for me. And then the
Oh
United
yeah.
States says, oh, no, you can't be a BNB trader because you're an American citizen. So I had to liquidate everything off Binance and put it into an exchange that the United States was cool with. Then the BNB token goes to like freaking $300. I was pissed. I was so pissed. And at the same time, Cardano at that time went from, 0.003 to 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I lost twice. And I was like, these mother truckers.
Yeah, but Sean, you know
So,
what? All this probably was on purpose because it led you to the Holy Grail. I mean, look where you are now. You're in the right
no, but
positions.
I was already in the right position. I was just doing extra stuff based on this platform.
But you
And
didn't
that's why
learn
I was so
anything,
pissed.
Sean. See, that was
Well,
a
you know what
lesson.
happens to Jack if he has no fun, right? Becomes a dull
He sounds
boy.
like
So
he sounds like a jack off.
yeah, exactly.
All
There
work
you
and
go.
no play.
Yeah, all work. You were working too much. You were just working in the wrong investments, my friend.
Oh man, I was so upset.
Well, don't worry,
I
you're
was
gonna
so upset.
recover big time with this. The next 2 years. You know, it's funny. I just tell people like the average person could really transform their lives if they invest properly with just a little bit of money these next couple of years. And I just hope I hope we're getting to enough people so that they understand that, and they take this opportunity, and they seize this opportunity to get themselves out of the rat race.
Wow, that sounds like an Eminem song. If he
Yeah,
had one chance and one opportunity.
that's
Hey,
it.
I'm going to stress again one more time because maybe there's some new people in the chat that didn't hear me the last time. Set up a couple more XRP wallets, XLM wallet, XDC wallets for family and friends because these assets ain't going to get any cheaper and regulations may sweep in. I'll just catch us off guard and you didn't have those things set up for your family and friends. Get a couple extra hardware wallets for yourselves to have some redundancy programs in place in the event that we do have some potential black swans and need to move funds off, swap funds, etc. One of the wallets go down, you got another redundancy to move your funds onto a different wallet. It doesn't have a hack or whatever have you. We do have AI and quantum computing coming into play. A lot of chatter about that, and I believe that's going to be a potential issue in the near future. I know there's several cryptos that are quantum compliant. XRP being one of them. I know, as a matter of fact, that I know that XRP is only the one currency right now that it hasn't been able to be hacked by quantum computing, and has some redundancies in place to protect itself from that.
That's because XRP is running the quantum computer. It's the gas.
Yeah. So
Ooh,
Hey,
that's nice.
and I
talk
wanted to say
about
shout
that.
out to the chat and shout out to the questions. I think Sophie asked a great question earlier tonight. And anybody else that's there, I can't see the chat. But shout out to the chat. We appreciate you more than you know.
Absolutely, 100%.
Gentlemen, I'm going to dip. I just want to say thank you all for allowing me on the show again. And Alan, great job putting this together. G, Sean, you guys are doing amazing things. And, I don't know if we could do this, but maybe we could get a list of questions from our viewers. So the next time when we come back on, we could address them. You know what I mean? Or
Adam, thank you. I'm going to get your number tomorrow for a follow up. Thank you so much.
okay.
So we got
welcome.
about 9 minutes left, guys. I try to keep it under 2 hours or right at around 2 hours. I unfortunately got to work tomorrow, but normally I'm off. But I'm going to keep it under 2 hours tonight. And anybody that's got any comments in the chat they want to post, we want to talk about tonight. Few other people want to jump in. I did send the link to the Blue Crew if anybody wants to jump in for the last 9 minutes or so, let's say. And yeah, Animal, When Moon. I love it. When Moon, Animal. When Profit is more or less my sentiment right now. Because,
Right.
in this stage in the game, I'm looking at the long term. Adams and I are on the same wavelength. Like, why would you sell your XRP at $5 when really you're holding out for, 4 digits, in my opinion? An XRP ledger was never designed to be less than 4 digits. And the amount of money it's going to move and the partnerships and agreements that they've made, and that money alone, if you look at all the partnerships and agreements that they've made with all these institutions throughout the world, that money alone, if you divide it into the market cap, if you want to be a market cap kind of guy, is telling me that it's not really worth it selling at $5. Am I going to take profits at $5? I think so. Personally, I won't lie. I know that taking profits is important and cashing out your initial investment for a lot of people is really important. I think you should do that. If a wise person was to give you advice, they would tell you what's on your heart is what you should follow. If your heart tells you to cash out at $5, a little bit of XRP, but I would stress also saying this as you cash out enough that you need to survive for the next year, 2 years. Because what I'm seeing in the next few years, I really don't see these institutions sitting on the sideline waiting. People are very impatient at this point in time in the game. I don't see them sitting on the sideline for too long. I don't see the old system being still used while the new system is in place and being utilized. Why Why would you go back to dial-up internet when you have high-speed internet at your fingertips? How many people are actually going to do that? Sure, there's going to be some laggards, but literally when the new internet came onto place and people were actually being able to utilize that, download a picture in seconds versus 5 minutes. I can remember, guys, I'm 50, when it took you 5 minutes to download a picture. Most of you are young and you don't even remember those days, but that's where we were. Then you could download a picture in seconds. Oh, you could watch a video online. You could watch a video and send an email at the same time. This
Instantly.
innovation happens quick. It took a long time, but literally we're at 23 years of this technology being in place and being utilized. And I just don't see them sitting on the sideline for too long. And those that have, dragging their feet and, realizing that this is going to take some time, you may be caught off guard. So I stress that you put some implementation in of these things that I just talked about. Get yourself a couple extra hardware wallets, get you a couple extra wallets on those hardware wallets that you set up. Set those up ahead of time. So you got some redundancy plans. You also got some generational wealth you can transfer to family members. How are you going to do it when we get there? You may be forced into a central bank digital currency where it's on your phone, and the only way to implement the money transfer is going to be on a centralized system. But if you have something like an XRP wallet or an XLM wallet on a hardware wallet where you can actually send money and do peer-to-peer, because that's really what I'm talking about, is peer-to-peer is available now. Peer-to-peer may not be available in the future. But those that have the wallets now and set up, I believe peer-to-peer will always be available. But it's part about being early and setting those things up and redundancies that I really want to bring to your attention tonight. So it's been on my heart, so I wanted to share it with you guys. What do you think about that, G? And Sean, and the last few minutes we got to talk about, please elaborate and share what you got with the community for the last couple minutes we got.
I just want to say thank you for having me on, CryptoNavigator. You're awesome, man. Shout out to your stream, and shout out to everybody who's tuning in. I think he appreciates for sure anybody who's hitting the likes and subscribing. He's growing a tremendous channel here, and we're definitely big supporters of it. I think, like you're saying, this has to happen sooner rather than later. I do think, the vindictive have the patience of saints, so they can keep testing our patience and dragging things on. That is a possibility, but I feel like it should happen sooner rather than later. And XRP and some of these other cryptos, but XRP in particular, always catches people off guard when it moves. When it moves hard, and it leaves the world behind. And people go like, damn, I wish I could have accumulated more. Even if you do have a good bag, you see the way that it moves and you go, holy cow, I wish I had more in there. And I'm not trying to get people to FOMO into it. I'll never tell you what to do with your investment or anything like that. But yeah, this stuff's already evolving in front of our eyes. I've been doing this for 7 to 8 years, and I can't even believe how much time has passed already being involved in crypto. So it's happened very slowly up to now. And it could continue to be slow, but we're seeing all the dominoes continuing to fall in favor of mass adoption of digital assets. And XRP is the next level. It's the next level and the next maturity level of what this crypto space is all about. Like, Bitcoin has been great and a great thing in the traditional financial system that we have set in place right now. Bitcoin is a great hedge against that traditional financial system. The digital financial system, the ISO 222 system, is going to be a whole different beast entirely. And we're going to see value moving, volume moving like we've never been able to see before, because we're accustomed to seeing how it goes down in the traditional financial system.
G, I really appreciate you being here and being a part of this. And you're a wonderful part of this community, and I've been watching you for several years now, and I just seen you grow and what you bring as far as value to the community, brother. I just want to shout out to you, and you just keep bringing it. I know you work just as much as I do, and it's amazing. Like somebody put in the chat, like, how does this guy bring all this knowledge and work like 2 or 3 jobs? It, you help me push harder, man, because time is limited. Time is money, and to bring value to the community is, you guys, we're spending time as money, and we do it because we love people and we love the community and what we could share and how we can really just get everybody to the next level and come together as a community. So I love that. I love that you're a part of this. G. Sean, solid rock as far as this community goes. He's been around forever. I love Sean. He's just such a great dude. We talk quite often throughout the week. And Sean, please share what you got left for this last couple minutes of this stream. And
Okay.
shout out to Ralph
Okay.
Cooper. Good to see you, brother.
Okay, it's on my heart. Alan, G, you guys are phenomenal. But I will share something with you that I want the YouTube side to see, is that sometimes I think that you guys talk so damn long I can't get a word in. But then I learn something. Here's the weird part. Who just chimed in?
Jess.
It's Jess. What's up, Jess?
What's up, Jess?
What's up,
What's
G?
up, Jess?
What's up, DJ?
So, what's up? So, what I learned is that Alan is the type of dude that it's like a radio talk show where he does an opening monologue to set the stage, does his thing, people talk. Somebody like G has so much information, and Alan has so much on his heart that you got to let them talk. And then Alan is the type of dude that when he wants to close the show, he does like a closing monologue to, bring the stage down and say, hey, we're wrapping up, but thank you guys, blah, blah, blah. And while they're talking, I'm sitting there thinking I've got so much to say, but I stay quiet because I want to be respectful of the host and the other panelists. And so what was on my heart was not so much like frustration. It was just a realization that this platform that we're speaking on and the context of what we're speaking is very important. And I think everybody needs to be heard. And there's a lot of great information that goes out. And I think people need to take the information, do their due diligence, do their own research, and figure out where it fits with them. So thank you for letting me be on.
Yeah, real quick.
Thanks for being here, Sean.
Before y'all go away. G, nice to meet you. I see your show and I appreciate your knowledge. Alan, thank you. G, what is I'm new to crypto, 6 months into it, and for all the newbies, what is that ISO
20022?
Yeah.
Great
the
question.
220. What is ISO 222? Or
I'm
what are
new
the
to
ISO
crypto.
222
I'm
crypto?
new to internet stuff. So, a construction worker my whole life. So somebody that doesn't know a lot about the internet, how would you break it down?
Okay, so currently in the traditional financial system, we rely mostly on Swift for our financial messaging, and kind of the machines it's still analog in terms of our messaging. That's why it still takes like multiple days to do bank wire transfers from one country to the next country, right? ISO 222 messaging is a different type of electronic data exchange between financial institutions that they're setting up. It's the new rails of what they'll be messaging each other in terms of value. But the interesting thing is you can have this instant value interchange of data and information. But what we also need in tandem with that is a payments platform. And in the traditional financial system, we don't have that. That's why we think it could be XRPL or one of these other ISO 222 compliant cryptos, a payments platform that could be married to the data that ISO 222 is going to be sending between these institutions. So not only are you sending data instantly, you're sending value instantly in this new digital financial system, which is ISO 222. It's
a software.
It's a big rails for all these financial institutions and banks that are being formed.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to chime in, guys. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's why I think it's important that the cryptos that are aware of ISO 222 and working towards that, my man, I think that's where they have the next level step versus a lot of the cryptos that are just trying to get speculation and, you know, doggy coins and stuff like that. You know, this is like the big boys type of money.
Good.
And
Can
if
you guys
big
hear
boys
me good?
money is going to be on ISO 222, that's a big deal. Okay, I'm done.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're up.
All right, good. Earbuds dying. Yes, trying to get to the next level with tech and audio, guys. So next few streams, I should be a little bit more modernized. I appreciate you guys bearing with me until I get to the next level. Gonna end the stream now, guys. I appreciate everyone that's here. Thank you for tuning in. Please like the channel and subscribe. If you feel like you got some value from this community, please share it with others. Please reach out to some of the other utility-based crypto YouTube channels. Allow them to understand what I'm trying to do here is bring the other YouTube channels that are utility-based cryptos on one platform once a night as an open platform for the YouTubers and moderators. Guys, if you're a moderator in another channel, please reach out to me, DM me, contact me, and I'd like to bring you on and really share knowledge, because those that are putting the time and effort in of having their own channel and being a part of this community and sharing value, I want to be able to give you a platform, a way to promote you as a channel and get you in front of as many people as we can. And I believe the more collaboration we could do, the better. I don't have to be the channel to do it, but I just want to provide a platform. I don't care about making money with this channel. I will be putting up a buy me a coffee just to pay for my StreamYard for those that want to donate, and I would appreciate that. But I'm planning on being here every single Wednesday for as long as I can until we crypto moon, guys. So want to be that midweek hump day to be here for you guys as a community and just provide a platform for everybody to share. It's not about me, it's about us and how we can reach others and get us to the next level. So thank you guys all for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Play a little bit of back. If you guys can hear this on the outro, I'm gonna have some better outro music. I got some little bit of Bags and Tails music to play. So thanks again for showing up. I'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya. See ya.
Bags up, pump it to the moon, pump my bags up. XRP.
Unfortunately, I can't hear this music, so if you guys hear it,
We hear it, buddy.
We hear it, buddy.
all right.
We can hear it. We can hear it. Turn it up.
Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it up, better pump my bags up. Pump it up, XRP to the moon. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it to the moon, pump my bags up. XRP, pump it to the moon. Pump it up, pump my bags up. Pump it up, pump my bags up. Gotta pump it up, pump my bags up. Pump my moon bags, pump my moon bags. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump my moon bags, better pump it up. Pump it to the moon, pump it up. XRP to the moon. XRP to the moon. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it to the moon, pump my bags up. XRP, pump it to the moon. Pump it up, pump my bags up. Pump it up, Pump my bags up, gotta pump it up. Pump my bags up. Pump my moon bags, pump my moon bags. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump my moon bags, better pump it up. Pump it to the moon, pump it up. XRP to the moon.
See y'all next week.